apologies for starting the program a little behind schedule. Hello and thanks for joining the Tuesday edition of Journalist Hangout. I am Ayodele Ozubakun. Today on the program, President Buhari begs Benue leaders to accommodate their countrymen. And later on the program, angry youths, Boo or Zekume, accuse him of shielding looters. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju, Wahid Bakari, and Afolabi Akinola. So if you're ready, let the hangout start now. Glad to have you join us on Journalist Hangout. The killings in Benue State are becoming one too many. The state has come under attack by Fulani herdsmen who cast terror in the minds and hearts of farmers. Nigerians are embittered by the indifference of President Muhammadu Buhari. But just when Benue leaders dared the odds and visited Mr. President at Aso Rock, Mr. President's appeal to accommodate their countrymen, not without adding that it would punish the killer herdsmen. Will Mr. President's appeal yield any results? Babajide, I wouldn't say I'm totally comfortable with Mr. President's appeal, but at the same time, he went further to say they'll do everything to get the perpetrators. Now, accommodating your fellow countrymen, what is the meaning of this?
Yes, it's, the president wants people to live happily with one another. And what he's saying is, whether these people come from Sokoto, or from Adamawa,
Or from Mali,
or from any part of the country, they should be hospitable towards them. They should not be hostile to people who are not of their own ethnic stock. That is what the president is trying to say. I have to thank the president because on this program last week, I challenged him to call a stakeholders meeting, meet the people, because at that time, the president had not deemed it fit to even meet the Benue leaders. He didn't deem it fit to go
to Benue.
Neither did Oshibajo even attend the burial. So that sent a wrong signal to many people that the president was not providing leadership at a critical time. And I said, look, call a stakeholders meeting. Tell them that you want a solution to these rampant killings. You know, that is the way a leader should do. And I'm happy that the president, less than 48 hours, in fact, less than 24 hours after I gave that advice, the president indicated his willingness to have that stakeholders meeting, and he proceeded to have it. So that is good. Now, whether people will listen to him is another thing. I have not seen, even on the part of Miyetti Allah, I have not seen a kind of softening of position. Because this same Miyetti Allah, even when the government said we want cattle colonies, they were quick to come out to say, look, we don't want cattle colonies. All they want is free ranging, free roaming of cattle. Now, at a time when states, different states, even responded to the federal government initiative that they will not agree to cattle colonies.
I cannot see any of
you people are the center of it all. You ought to not try to worsen things by rushing to say you will not agree, because the federal government wants to end this crisis. It has come up with its own idea. Now, if the Miyetti Allah would not back the federal government, if the Miyetti Allah will come out and be saying they don't want cattle colonies, do they expect the state government to agree to cattle colony? If they are at the center of it all, don't even want cattle colony. So we cannot solve a problem when everyone chooses to maintain its own fixed position.
Hardline
you cannot adopt a hardline posture in this situation. For the president, what I expect him to do is to walk his talk. It's not enough to promise that you are going to arrest people, you are going to do this. Let people see you arrest those killers. Let people see you make example of those killers. To go for the Nigerian army to go to that place, honestly, and go to arrest vigilantes that the government engaged to protect the citizens, the people slaughter people, you didn't get them, you went and you arrested livestock guards and said you found guns on them. I mean, it sends the wrong message across to our people. Yes, people should not arm themselves illegally.
It is wrong.
But in this conflict, the first set of arrests that you made were not the killers, but were people who are trying to protect people who are being killed. I mean, how do you do that and expect people to feel that you are? I don't know whether there are no longer advisors in government. Because I don't know what the Nigerian army thinks is doing by that kind of arrest. And you paraded them, you call people paraded them, and you want these people to feel that we are handling this matter in an even-handed manner. I mean, it is wrong.
No,
these actions are worsening the situation. Oh, Miyetti Allah doesn't want cattle colonies. The southern state governors have risen up to say they don't want. Your Tom says he does not want cattle colony. So how do we forge ahead? I would expect that the fears of people must first be allayed. One of the ways to do it, to show that the government is truly, really out to solve this problem in a dispassionate manner. Get those killers, arrest those killers, let's put them on trial, and let justice be served quickly. When they went to Bachama, when people in Bachama killed Fulanis, on this program I warned. I said what they did was irresponsible and that they should expect retaliation. But we've seen people now saying, oh, the Nigerian press, when Fulanis get killed, they don't talk. Where were you when we were doing this program? I mean, these things are on YouTube. It's recorded.
The previous episode.
We cannot control to play back everything that we have said. To accuse the press of only reporting it when Fulanis kill people is wrong. But all of that, we do not even need to bother ourselves so much about that. Let our government handle this matter the right way. Address the fears of the people. Why do people not want cattle colonies? Because in 1958, the colonial government wanted to set up cattle colonies. In the end, because that was 2 years to independence, in the end, it was not implemented. So people will now say, oh, so something that they wanted to do many years ago and couldn't, they want to do it now. So there are all kinds of fears. Maybe as we go on, we'll talk about the fears that people have.
Wahid, when you look at it, I read it about the presidential directive, those people that were coming back from church on the New Year's Day, that the president was not happy about it, and the president gave a directive, and by the time we got to know it, Don Winnie has been gone down, and his dead body was just what Nigerians saw, and DSS in collaboration with the Nigerian military worked together, and under 2 weeks.
Special forces.
Yes,
deployed.
under 2 weeks, they brought them down. Now,
2 weeks or a few days.
We expect such an expedite action to this Mr. President directive, this assurance he gave to the Benue people.
That's why a lot of people are worried, when, the two sad events, occurred almost the same day. And you keep wondering, why is it that you were able to go after Don Winnie and you got him, you killed him, you know, and you could not
Soldiers.
replicate, you send soldiers, DSS, and special forces or what have you. They went as far as
Enugu to get
to
him.
go and get him. So that shows to tell, that goes a long way to tell you that if we are determined to work, if our security agencies, if they are determined to work, they will definitely work. They left their search. They left the entire River State. How did they get to know that the guy was hiding in Enugu? And the same intelligence report that they use in tracking him to that place, they can't use to fish out the killers in Benue. That's why people are saying that, you know, it's like we are now in an animal farm. A situation whereby some animals are more equal than the other. Why can't you replicate the same method you use in getting the one within 3 or 4 days? The one was taken away. You know, why can't you do the same there? It goes beyond the president, you know, telling us that, I mean, assuring Nigerians, assuring the Benue people that they will go after those people. If it is about talking, we have never been found wanting in that aspect. It's about, you know, walking the talk. You know, let's make example of those people. Nobody has monopoly of violence. These are the kind of things that make people to resort to self-help. Yes. When they lose confidence in government, they become frustrated. Don't let us forget the fact that on the day they were buried, I can't remember who said they were ready to raise 2 million youths.
One of their
top people.
General Lawrence Onoja said he was ready to even
and he will come out of his retirement to lead that command. Nobody should take such threat with levity. You know,
they can't be coming to kill them. They're expected to.
You are being killed. Help is not coming from the government. You know, and you expect that people will continue to fold their hands and they continue to kill them. It's never done anywhere. A time will come that they will fight back, and by the time they fight back, you never can tell the scale with which it will get to. That's why we need to be very careful.
Afolabi?
Well, it's a very touching issue, and it's just that it's so unfortunate that a general who is our president in civilian uniform could not do anything reasonable to address this situation. Cohabitation anywhere in the world is about justice. You don't give directives when, in the first instance, what you are supposed to put on ground to ensure that the coexistence, the corporate coexistence of Nigeria to live together is fully maintained in a way that people don't commit crime and go scot-free with it. First of all, the president directive, as fantastic as it was, you realize that a series of these events have been happening in the past and nothing has been done. So I will agree with the fact that people should not resort to self-defense. Even homicide is not a crime when committed in self-defense. Self-defense is very effective anywhere in the world when it comes to a situation like this. And if you are promoting self-defense,
your life is in danger.
And if you are promoting self-defense, that means it's becoming a situation where harms, which is not supposed to be legally, acquired, will now become a legal thing. Sometimes you justify illegality when it comes to a serious corner in which we are. But I think beyond the directive, justice is the relevance of coexistence. Without justice, let's forget it.
Julie, what's this theory? I spoke with somebody on Sunday and he told me that some herdsmen in, Niger and some other West African countries, that because of the climate change, that they have greener pasture in Nigeria. That's why they are all heading to this direction. And a place like Benue seems to be like a fertile land, that these people might not be necessarily Nigerians, that they might be from all other West African countries. Do you buy this theory?
Well, the thing is, I've always said that the Fulani militia is always summoned when they want them to carry out violence. And the truth that we must tell ourselves is that the Fulani don't just set out to kill people. They will usually kill people in response to being hurt one way or the other. Either you kill their cattle by poisoning them, or you even attack them, kill their cattle, and kill them. Once that happens, they lie in wait. They wait for the opportune moment. And the way they do it, you will be powerless to even help your people. I want to tell you what happened some time ago in Plateau State. They wrote to the community that they were coming to attack the community. So what happened? Meanwhile, they had a different community in mind, close to that particular community. So when they now wrote to them that, look, you did this to us so time, we are coming for you. Then those guys reached out to young people in the next village to them. Meanwhile, that next village to them was the one that they actually wanted to attack. So by the time those youths mobilized in large numbers to defend this particular city that they wrote the letter to, they left their own flanks open. So these guys came back. All their wives, their old men, and little kids had been slaughtered. Because, look, when you see pictures, as a tabloid editor, I saw some pictures of attacks in Plateau State carried out by this militia. Oh, my God. You will see that this is the height of wickedness. So, and they do not, as I've said earlier, they do not attack well-defended communities. No, they will just go to those villages. That's why, look at all the pictures. You will see buildings. The buildings are mud buildings and all that. All those buildings that they set ablaze. They will just go to those villages, no police presence, nothing, because they don't also want to lose their people. I saw a video.
Really? They don't want to lose their people?
Yes, I saw a video this morning of the Fulani militia. After an attack with their guns, they were inside the boat. Clearly, that was on the Benue River. They were saying, let's go quickly, let's go quickly. And they were talking about in Fufude, because I got someone to translate it for me. I don't understand Fufude. And they were saying, let's leave quickly. They are well armed, and they are many. So they quickly left the scene. So this is their own style. And by now, and it is difficult to pin them down because a lot of the people they use are non-Nigerians. I told you what I had in Adamawa State. Adamawa is the #1 Fulani state in Nigeria in terms of the concentration of the Fulani. What I had in Adamawa State enabled me to know their modus operandi, how they will reach out to
affiliates
in different countries around us. They will come on the day of attack and then they will slaughter people. That's why I warned when the attack happened in Bachama. I said, why did you do this? They killed the Fulani, their women and their children. I knew that this thing would not stop because they would want to retaliate. You know? So the thing is, the government, what the president needs to do is to show that, look, I am even-handed in this matter. And if you are even-handed, everyone will know. It will be clear that you are not trying to condone violence under your watch. No president should enjoy people being slaughtered while he's the president, because we are becoming a laughingstock in the international community. That this is in this age, people will be slaughtering like this in Africa's #1 nation. In Africa's #1 nation, we are still reducing ourselves to the level of animals. You know, we are not watching Agio Wide, for God's sake.
Honestly,
we animals reign by killing fellow animals. So we have to stop. We have to raise and let people know that we are civilized. We cannot allow this kind of killings to continue. The president must visit the full weight of the law on people killing people across the country, in Edo, in Taraba, anywhere, whoever they be.
That is what gives somebody the temerity to call the country shithole. Because when you see the way people are behaving,
we should go above this. When every year you see Nigerians slaughter themselves like ram. We should go above this.
When the default system is even a crime in advanced countries to even kill animals.
Honestly.
It's a crime to kill animals.
And they are listed animals.
Yes.
So you can kill animals. To slaughter them, they don't want the animal to feel pain. The animal rights people, they can even resort to violence against you. But you take the animal to the abattoir, they electrocute it so that electrocution kills the animal quickly. It doesn't subject the animal to extreme pain. But we now will bring knife. We'll start slaughtering. They don't want that. So if animals deserve to die in dignity and with minimal pain, Ayo, go and see those pictures of women had their heads cut open and all that. What has come over us?
Children.
And children who can't defend themselves.
You know, the annoying thing is that even in conventional world, you know, there are
rules of engagement.
You allow women, children, old men, even those
Geneva Convention.
Yes, even those who willingly surrender, you allow them to go, or you take them as prisoners of war. But we now have a situation whereby people, you know, they take absolute joy in killing people in a savage manner. In a barbaric manner,
cutlass.
You know, using cutlass, using knives to slaughter people as if you are slaughtering animals. These are some of the things that Joseph Conrad talked about when he referred to Africa as Out of Darkness. How many years ago that gave rise to what is known as protest literature? Things that the likes of Chinua Achebe and the rest of them started by saying, no, we have passed that stage. But we are now in this area, and we are now returning to those dark age, where people do all manner of things, you know, nobody cares, the government is not even, they are not even showing enough commitment to show that they want to get to the root of the problem.
Okay, let me take my first caller. Pastor Joseph is calling from Ogun State. Thank you, Pastor, for joining us.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Pastor.
I commend all of you for the good work you are doing there.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I want to say something concerning this Benue killings. It is really sad. And even the day I saw they buried those people, I was crying. I wept and wept. I don't know if our president watched that burial. I don't know what stops him from going to that place or sending the vice president. When something happened in America, we saw President Trump when there was a flood or something like that. He went there and even donated his private money. Now we are talking about life. I don't know what to say. I don't know if the government value cow more than life. Nothing has been done. No arrest. The Mieti Allah will come on Chinese television, on television station, and be even claiming responsible of those things and even threatening people without nobody arresting him. What are we doing in this country? If we keep quiet, this thing will extend to all the whole states in Nigeria.
Thank you, Pastor.
Please,
Thank you.
let us unite and fight this battle.
Well,
I think it's very painful that the absence of Mr. President and his vice president in this kind of burial is evidential enough to the fact that you are less concerned or less bothered about what is happening in Nigeria. Life, because when you came into power,
I understand they are making efforts that
one of those promises,
Mr. President is going to be there.
One of those promises
anytime
and all that, when they came into power, is that
Choose the right time to
protection of lives and property is very important.
And sometimes, you know, when they happen immediately, it's not advisable for Mr. President to just go.
He has to also get security reports, security clearance.
The pent-up anger, the kind of the emotion.
Just as UK Bello, former ADC to Babangida told him, he said, you are the president and commander-in-chief, but I'm the commander-in-chief of your security. I determine who sees you. Because he was fond of blocking access to the head of state at that time, from even the likes of Maboguje, Professor Maboguje, that IBB really respected. You know, and that was why even the coupists, they had to go after him. That pent-up hatred, they went for him. They said, this guy. So the security people can tell the president that, look, you can't go. It's not in all cases that a president will overrule them. Obasanjo did it when he wanted to go to Kano to surrender Mohammed Abacha. They told him, you can't go. He said, if I'm the commander-in-chief, I want to go. He said, oh, there's so much anger against you in Kano. He went to Kano and surrendered Mohammed Abacha to the emir of Kano, then Ado Bayero, and said, anytime we need him, if we want to bring him back to court, I will tell you that we need him and you have to surrender him. But against security report, he moved. Abacha also did it in the height of June 12 agitation. They were taking him to the airport. They wanted to take him through a long route. He now said, what's the meaning of this? They said, no, that protesters...
I think in Lagos.
Yes, here in Lagos.
Lagos.
That protesters masked on both sides of the road and premised, Your Excellency, it could be dangerous. He said, who is the commander-in-chief? It is that place where they masked up that you must take me through. So many people were killed that day. So the rest is history. So it's not in all cases that a president will say, no, I'm going against security report.
But I think, as interesting as it is...
Don't forget, this same president, before he was sworn in, he said he will stop, he will be stopping at road intersections.
Just traffic lights.
Yes, you remember? And I said it on this program. I said he was joking.
It's not
Yeah, because look, how will you, if you stop in, because the light stops you as president and then you stop, and Boko Haram snipers are around, and they open fire, what will happen? It will show that your security people don't know what they are doing. I said at that time that the president was joking. It turned out that the president didn't, he has not carried out that promise.
As interesting as this argument at least portray, it shows that if the president says, I'm for everybody, I belongs to nobody. If the body language of Mr. President to this situation in the past, before this very moment, has been very fantastic and robust in a way that at least in the court of public opinion, we are convinced beyond any reasonable doubt that, look, he's always very proactive. It would have been a different thing. But the body language of Mr. President and all that to this effect has not been cordial, has not been fantastic in the past. Nobody has been punished so far. So if you want to link your statement, I belong to everybody and for nobody, this should be demonstrated in the protection of lives and property.
That's true.
This should be demonstrated.
In other crimes, arrests would be made in 48 hours. You'd have seen photographs, you'd have seen you'd have seen profile of the suspect. It would have been all over the news network, and the names of the suspects there were meant to track. Let me take this call from the UK. Okay. Joe is calling us from the United Kingdom. Thank you for joining us, Joe.
Hello.
Yes, thank you for joining us. Go ahead with your contribution, Joe.
Please, I don't have much to say, but to say my mind. When this issue started from the... Yeah, I'm speaking already.
Go ahead.
Our president, Buhari, he may not be corrupt financially, but he is corrupt morally.
Joe,
No.
Joe, I will not allow you to
talk to our president like that.
Talk to our president. You know you're in United Kingdom.
Yeah.
So please,
far away from
we are here
where
in
we are.
Nigeria. Don't talk to our president like
Don't
that.
disrespect
It is
our
wrong. Don't
president.
disrespect that office.
No matter how you
Please.
feel about
It's
it,
not about the individual.
respect his office.
It's about the office now.
Don't disrespect
We are
the
in UK.
president.
Oh. You can you see them on Facebook. It's very convenient to throw stone. I mean, Nigerians in diaspora, they will say all sorts of things. But let them come here and feel what we are feeling.
So the situation you were even talking about the other time, you know, in most cases, the killers are not even, they don't even come out. But government will go all the way out to get information about them and put those information in public domain so that whoever has any information that can lead to the arrest can quickly contact the appropriate people. But in this kind of situation, we have a situation whereby people will come on national television to rationalize the killings. And as we speak, no single arrest has been made. And you are not talking about the need to set up a probe. What probe are you setting up? The probe that is even dead on arrival. Nothing tangible will come out of it besides giving allowances to people, sitting allowances, talking about logistics and the rest of them. And, you know, I keep saying that in a situation whereby you allow people to kill, you know, you think that they can get away with it. You never can tell the plan of the other people. It will be stupid of them to continue to sit down and allow themselves to be killed by people when they know that government is not going to help them. They will resort to self-help. And anytime that happens, it can lead to anarchy. And
Jide, as we're closing in on this, why do you think these state governments are, you know, why do you think they are against these cattle colonies?
It is the size of the land that they are likely to take.
Yes.
From
The size of the land.
Yes. If we go by, you know, I was talking about the American standard for grazing. The last time we talked about the matter of grazing. In Kansas and Nebraska, where they have more than 2 million heads of cattle across those two states, you need 2 acres.
2 acres.
2 acres for between 15 to 20 cattle.
That's 12 plots of land.
Yes, between 15 to 20 heads of cattle. You need 2 acres. Now, the grazing, the cattle colonies, the way they are is, it will be just one part of the state. It's not like
you are then scattered all over the
no.
Now, anybody who wants to graze, anybody who has cattle, it is grazing area will be located.
This is Alimosho.
It will be located in the place where where the colony is designated. You get the point. So, which means that grazing areas for cattle will be localized in a part of the state. Now, it means that every cattle dealer or herdsman will now, it is in just that part.
They must be in that
is
part.
where they will be concentrated.
They cannot come to Ikeja. If it's Alimosho, they cannot come to anywhere of
now,
Victoria
that is
Island.
where they will be, everyone will be located. Now, the Mieti Allah would think that that goes against their own custom of moving around and all that, because you will not be able to leave that area. Now, if there are 40,000 cattle in Benue, for example, what it means is that they will need 4,000 acres. By the standard that I talked about, they will need 4,000 acres, which is 24,000 plots. So now what these people dread is, if the Fulani are concentrated in one part of our state, they will, just as Osekome said, they will begin to see themselves in due course as owners of the land that the government took on their behalf for as a cattle colony. They will, in no time,
take over,
have emirs, their own traditional rulers and all that, and then they can even lay claim to
land
the place
in the long time,
in the fullness of time, just as it has happened in Plateau and other places. So that is the fear that, look, this is a problem. After a while, the land that belongs to us, you've taken it, we can't take it back, it belongs to these people and all that. So that is the way they are seeing it. The sheer size of the land that they will take from them in the long run. Because, like the minister was saying, if you are saying, okay, you want to graze in Benue State, for example, whether you are originally based in Sokoto, you will move your cattle to Benue, and then they will find a place for you out of the colony. So they dread that because of the fertile nature of their soil. The number of people that will come to take advantage of the cattle colony will be so huge that they will have taken so much land from them. And the second thing is, in 1958, when the colonial administration wanted this idea of a cattle colony, the population of Benue was 1.7 million. Today, by the 2006 census, the population of Benue is in excess of 7.6 million. Yeah. Although some people still dispute that. They think they are more than that. So there is not as much land as they used to have, whether for grazing or for any other thing. So the state is bigger, the population is bigger. So those are the fears that they have.
Okay, I'll quickly take this breather. When we come back, youths boo Mike Ozekume, accuse him of shielding looters. Stay with us. It's still journalist Hangout. We'll be right back after this time out. Glad to have you back on your award-winning, groundbreaking program of the year, Journalist Hangouts. Ozekume has arguably defeated the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, more than any other lawyer in recent times. But this success has pitched him against young people who interpret it as shielding looters. On Monday, the senior advocate of Nigeria was booed at the remembrance lecture held in honor of late Chief Gani Oyesola Fawemi. It took the intervention of other lawyers to calm the angry youths. Is it a crime to defeat EFCC? Babajide, I was there yesterday, and when they started the lecture, even before the lecture, it was announced that one of the keynote speakers will be Chief Mike Ozekume. So some of these youths, members of the representative of some civil rights groups and national NANS, National Association of Nigerian Students. So as Ozekume got there around after 1, as he was making his entry, not forgetting that Ozekume used to be the deputy head of chamber of Chief Gani Fawemi. So if it's a Gani Fawemi lecture, he has the locus, so you can see the visual. So as he was making his entry, what you hear here is ole, 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 ole. You can give us the natural sound, my producer. Okay, so now what we have here was, Ozekume trying to make his entry into that particular venue as the Lagos Airport Hotel. This is the situation, and they were actually trying to, thanks to the likes of Uncle Richard Akinola, that actually had to calm the student down, and some other civil rights activists. Richard was actually sweating and trying to get them respected, and the son of Gani Fawemi, that's Mohammed Fawemi, actually said, you will be disrespecting my father if you are actually behaving this way during his lecture. Babajide.
Yes, I think that there is a level of frustration about the fact that the FCC is not really doing well with a lot of the corruption cases that it is fighting in the courts. But I think that in Nigeria, sometimes we get unnecessarily emotional about these things. Yes, some lawyers are putting us to shame by their frivolous injunctions, applications and all
to
that.
stall trials.
But even the FCC lawyers are guilty of that. They are guilty of that. So I think that what the FCC needs to do is do due diligence. No judge will just give you judgment like that without working for it. You must provide evidence. We can't be emotional about this and be deceiving ourselves. Look at some of the evidence, even against some of those people. You can't defend. So what the FCC does most times is they first arrest and then they will be shopping for evidence. Look at the case of Patience, for example. Why will Ozekume not defeat them? The case of Patience, you went before the court, asked for an interim forfeiture order. The interim forfeiture order is time-bound. The judge expects that after 90 days, you will have been able to attach evidence of criminality
to corroborate
to this account.
Now, after 90 days,
You didn't do anything.
you didn't bring any evidence. The judge has done his best, giving you that time.
3 months.
You now got to court and wanted the judge to give you another extension of the forfeiture order, another 90 days. And the judge said no. No. You must provide proof. The money that you are talking about, there are NGOs, there are companies that are linked to, she set up a company, I think, around in 2006 or so, when the husband was still, I think, even deputy governor. So, and there are people who work who earn salary. So the lawyer will naturally come before the judge and say, look, these NGOs linked to this woman, they need to be paid salary and all that. So there's no way the judge will just give a fresh, because the time that he gave you should be enough to find evidence against this woman and nail her. So if you can't do that at that time, there's no way they will stop you, that the judge will not push your case aside. In the case of another case against this Osekome, Osekome received 70 million from Fayose as legal fees. You went and seized the money. Is a lawyer not entitled to his legal fees again? Do they know how much the late Yaradua paid to Wole Olanipekun as his legal fees for
the presidential case?
For taking up his case against Buhari, which I covered right up to the end. So this is the thing. The EFCC must block loopholes. Block those loopholes.
It's not enough to freeze accounts.
Provide cast iron evidence against looters. By the time you get to the court, you will win. Some of those cases are very. Remember, you see, no matter what you say about that lawyer, he knows the job. Remember when Mama Taraba had this one at the lower court, and we said, okay, go and talk to him.
Okay, I remember.
Talk to him, talk to Falano. When I listened to Osekome's argument, because Osekome argued that, look, the matter, Mama Taraba does not belong to PDP. And the case, you brought the case before the court that the primaries
within the
primaries of the PDP that produced the governor was not properly conducted. But you are not a member of their party. Only a member of their party can feel aggrieved.
Yes.
Because,
yes.
You don't have any.
Can't be kind more than bereaved.
At the end of the day, the man won. Why won't he win? Provide, just as the former Chief Justice of the Federation said, justice is like a case is like a building. If the foundation is good, when you get to court, you will win.
Okay, when Chief Michael Osekome was allowed to talk, when he took to the podium yesterday, he actually said this.
I'm just coming out from the court. Where your EFCC, your government of tyranny, wanted to again freeze the accounts of a citizen. They do it expertly. I have just stopped them again. That is the 20th time. 20th time I have done it in 1 year.
That will be the 20th time. Wahid. Now, Osekome is like a consultant against the EFCC. That if you know, if you want to stop the EFCC, he's counting it that in 1 year, that will be the 20th time.
Yes, they allow it, and he's enjoying it. We have said it times in that number of this program that, they should go beyond this, their media trial. Why is it that if corruption cases are being tried in a place like China, at least it's almost certain. There's nothing you can do about it. They will have tightened the news around you.
And their own decision is that
the burden of proof will now automatically be on you.
You are guilty until you prove your innocence.
So you are the one that would now say, I'm not guilty.
Yes.
These are my reasons for saying I'm not guilty. So when they continue to do things like this, what I would have preferred them to do yesterday is for them to have lectured those youths that, look, it doesn't work like that, because the lawyers there should have talked about the emphasis that Section 38 of the Constitution placed on presumption of innocence. You can't say because somebody has been accused, then nobody should defend.
And whoever defends the person, that means the person is encouraging corruption.
He's never done anywhere.
No.
Even in a place like Mumbai in 2008, when those 10 terrorists invaded Mumbai, and they held the place hostage for about 4 days. At the end of the hostility, they killed all the terrorists except one that was caught alive. You know what the Bar Association in Mumbai did? They now wrote a letter that no lawyer in that city should defend that guy. The only lawyer that stood among them that said, no, look, I don't want to be part of this shit, because we all know what the law says about defending an accused person. I want to defend this lawyer, this accused person. You know, they started protesting against it. After so much pressure, he also withdrew. But when they brought the guy to the court, the chief judge said it cannot work like this. We have to put him on trial. So they now asked the state government to provide a lawyer for the person. They provided a lawyer for him. At the end of the day, he was found guilty and he was convicted and he was eventually killed. You know, you can't say because, look at the case of Atiku. When Atiku was almost being stopped from contesting the elections, you know, he went to court and the court said, no, it is not enough that because he has been accused, he cannot contest.
It is INEC that can disqualify him.
You must also prove it. So it's not enough to say because people have been brought to court and they should not be defended. They have to be defended. It is a must in law.
I think one of the arguments of Ezekweme has been the fact that the anti-corruption war of this present administration has been one-sided. The word your EFCC and your government, from what he has just said now, shows completely that the government and EFCC of the day have been one-sided in anti-corruption war. That's the implication of what he has been saying. And again,
that's what he thinks.
That's what he feels. But I think, again, probably the EFCC has not been doing their job well, like every other person has canvassed. Media war is not a law court. So if you want to win a case, if you want to win a case, you have to work for it. Nothing in life has ever been achieved, in most cases on the platter of gold, without working for it, especially in this kind of situation. A lawyer has to be reading, calculating, doing those sort of things before you can arrive at the very, good conclusion. And again, I observe too that you need to look at EFCC during New Ribado. Then a lot of people believed, which I'm thinking that the Nigerian government, maybe the DRS Fushi and now, should also, take a good direction from, that Economic and Financial Crimes Commission should not be seen as an institution that will be fighting corruption to represent the interests of the government of the day.
To be detached from...
So it has to be completely independent in the court of public opinion, regardless of which government is there. Because if another government comes to
financially and politically independent.
So that is an issue here. For somebody to be saying your EFCC and your government.
That means a problem. Jude, what is this perception that any lawyer, if I'm a lawyer and I decide to go and defend, a known 419, does that make me, am I aiding, abetting looters or corruption?
It's the height of hypocrisy. You can choose who you want to defend. And they were saying, I was hearing them saying, Ghani never defended people accused of corruption. That is a lie. Ghani defended people accused of corruption. You remember in 1984? Yes. In 1984, when the NBA said it was going to boycott the tribunals.
The tribunal set up by Buhari's government. Yes.
Ghani said, no, if I do not go to defend them, who will defend them? They will just jail everybody. Ghani dared them, and Ghani went to defend them. One of the people that he defended was Obasa of NYC.
Colonel Peter
Obasa. He defended Obasa. Obasa was jailed. Then Killer. Killer. He defended him. These were people accused of corruption. Ghani defended him and got jailed. During the Obasanjo dispensation,
yes,
our second Senate president,
yes, Chuba
Okadigbo. Chuba Okadigbo was accused of corruption. In fact, he lost his Senate presidency on account of that.
Yes.
And other principal officers were also punished. Ghani defended Chuba Okadigbo.
But that does not make Ghani corrupt.
Ghani, yes.
He was doing his job.
And the funny thing, when the Senate was probing Okadigbo, they now summoned Ghani because they saw where Okadigbo wrote that he paid Ghani fee, I think, of 500,000 naira at that time. And Ghani said, you are ridiculous people. That as a lawyer, I'm entitled to my legal fees. I will not come before you to defend anything. So even the Ghani that they were talking about defended corrupt people. It's on record.
So
it's on record.
Maybe we should say alleged corrupt people.
Yes. No, jailed. Jailed.
They lost the case.
Colon Shokila was jailed.
Yes.
Obasa was jailed. Peter Obasa was jailed. I know what I'm saying. He defended corrupt people. Some of the people today who abuse Osekome, who called him names, they are on record to have defended corrupt people, 419 people.
Yes.
For defended people who looted the state blind. Alamesia.
Yes.
We remember some of the lawyers who defended him. So let the EFCC do its work, do due diligence. If you find money in someone's account, you must prove that that money is a product of money laundering. I've been telling them, I've been saying this on this program, that up to today, for almost 3 years now, the Metropolitan Police has seized Diezani's passport. But they've not brought her before any court for trial. They've not begun her trial.
They want to bring
because they are still looking for cast iron evidence. The day they grab the woman and take her before any court,
as if she's done for.
She knows that she will not come out free. It happened to Ibori that we could not jail here. Awokuleyin couldn't jail him here.
171 cases.
They put Ibori before a judge, and they jailed him. They jailed him, jailed his lawyer, jailed his girlfriend, jailed his staff, jailed his wife. So this is the way it should be. Once you take people before a court, they should not escape. But if you do not do due diligence and you spend all your time giving newspapers press releases, there are some funny editors, anything they see, they won't even bother to check. They will just go and slam it.
And the same thing should guide us in this 2018. There are some politicians that they've been labeled corrupt, but no court has convicted them, and EFCC have not been able to take them. But they are wearing the toga of corruption because somebody, an individual, labeled them as corrupt.
Ayo, you know, the sad part of it is that there are cases whereby people have even been exonerated by the court.
I'm telling you.
But up to today,
you are still
people like
body judge.
This former speaker,
Dimeji Bankole.
A lot of people
EFCC couldn't prove the case.
Yes.
Abdulaziz Murtala Yakub. He defeated the EFCC.
Since that time, they have been confined to that.
Don't spoil their name.
And even journalists are guilty of this.
You now keep struggling with the name. What was the outcome of
this
case?
man that was
it was because sometimes ago, I cannot remember the outcome of it. Because, you know, we have had enough of it.
I think, like everybody have said, the FCC should not be blaming, you know, their own incapacity, their own, you know, loopholes on Osekome in this kind of situation. You have to do your work well. Whoever fails the exams on the pretense of the fact that, look, you are supposed to get judgment just because you are EFCC has missed it. The Economic and Financial Commission must live up to expectation. Yes. They must live up to standard. If indeed they want to fight corruption in Nigeria, they must fight it with all sense of logic.
I want to thank you, Afolabi Akinola. Thank you for being my guest on today's edition of Journalist Hangouts. And also thank you, Wahid Bakari and Babajide Kolade Otoju. That's where we draw the anchor on Journalist Hangout today. Join us tomorrow for another interesting episode of the program. You can watch the repeat tonight at 11. You can also watch Journalist Hangout on our platforms showing on the screen. You can also watch it on YouTube. That's youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. Our feedback channel is Journalist Hangout at tvcnews.tv. I'm Ayodele Ozubahu. Bye for now and God bless Nigeria.